Hey guys, welcome back to Jack on Tracks and another episode of the Back Shop. All right, so what we're doing here is we're making a keep alive or anti-flicker device. I don't know what you want to call it for a HO passenger car. As some of you have heard me talk about before, I have a whole train of these Athearn cars, and I have interiors for them. So we're going to go the extra mile and put lights in them with the interiors and hopefully people too. So how did I get to where I'm getting? I went online, I looked at a bunch of stuff. Larry Potter, the DCC guy, had a very excellent one with these where he actually had a little potentiometer that he could adjust it. I couldn't find one of those. To me, that's a little bit crazy, a little much to do. And then just a bunch of different ones I looked at. What I got here is I got two size capacitors. I got a 16 volt by 470 ferrite capacitor. This is a 16 volt 330 ferrite capacitor. Obviously, you can see the difference in the size. Obviously, the more the voltage, the bigger the capacitor. I probably could have went with a bigger one of these. I went with 16 volts. When I do the reorder on these, I'm probably going to bump up to 25 volts because you'll see in this video what happens when you don't do this correctly. So what I got here is I got the rectifier, and then it comes into the positive side of the rectifier is over here. That feeds into a 330 ohm resistor. Remember that you want to put that in there. That feeds into the positive side of this capacitor. Then this capacitor comes over and it's hooked up to the negative side over here. I come through the strip of lights. I come to a 2K ohm resistor on this side, which is connected under here to the negative side of the capacitor. So this is all hooked in. If you don't regulate your voltage to this, it will get very hot and it will blow up. How do I know? Let's cut to that video. Makes no sense, right? I touch it here. Same thing. Same thing. Oh, shit. Oh, yeah. That was fun. So that was my mistake. Because I did it a few times where I made these when these got hot and I couldn't figure out why. And me trying to drop the voltage down, I put a resistor on the leads coming in, and that worked the same way as that resistor right there, allegedly. But that was a 1K ohm resistor, and it really darkened these down. It really dimmed these down, I thought, too much. So let me show you how these work, and then we'll show you how we build them. That's at full voltage. And that's going in as DC. So this rectifier over here, you can power it AC or DC, and it'll light no matter what. So the power is disconnected. See how long it takes to die down? And with that rectifier, doesn't matter which side's positive, which side's negative when you hook it up to the track. So we're going to hook this up here to the AC side. We'll see if the light's any different. Same brightness. Let it charge up a little bit. And then, so that's going to be enough time to keep it bright so you're not going to get flickers if you go over a dead spot. in the track. So that's what we're going to build. We're going to build one of those. All right. I experimented with that. This is another one I did. Like I said, I put the resistor in before the rectifier, and it doesn't blow up. I find not blowing up is a plus. The older I get, the less into blowing up I am. You can see that's a little bit dimmer. Not really much, but we got about the same hang time. So that's going into another caboose that we have sitting around here somewhere. Yeah, so like I said, this is my 330 ohm resistor. I was hoping to find a different color, but they don't have one in a different color. I couldn't find one. And this is a 2K. We're going to leave this in the box for now. We're going to go with this 470 farad capacitor. And we're going to get another one of these out. All right. These are SMD surface mount. Okay. If you can find the ones that aren't surface mount, these legs tend to be a little bit longer. It'll make life a little bit easier. But this is what I got. I ordered them by accident. Not going to return them. Not worth the effort or the aggravation. So what you can do, just take a pair of flat pliers and flatten out the wires. All right. I wish I had a little red pen marker, but I don't. All right. So on one side you have these waves. Hope you can see that coming in. On the other side you have a plus and a minus. On the capacitor you got that. All capacitors have this. One side's got a stripe on it with a negative sign in it. The other side doesn't. So guess what? That's the negative side. Lines up with that. That's the positive sign. Lines up with that. So that's what we're going to do with this. I thought about gluing these together like this to make life a little easier. But I haven't decided if I'm going to do that yet. I mean, it might, but I don't know. So it just makes it a little bit cleaner package. But you need to connect this resistor to this. Or tin these up and go from there. We got that. These are tinned up. Now, I have liquid flux that I've used, and it works very well. It works excellent. Cleans up, dries out quick. I used that on one of these that I made, and the rectifier failed. I don't know if it had anything to do with that. I was thinking maybe it got inside somehow. So I really didn't think I used a lot of heat on it, but I'm not 100% sure. So I just went with the paste. Basically what I've been doing is I've been soldering the negative leg to the rectifier. Just want to make sure I got a good connection here. That's a good connection. That's a good connection. So take this resistor. I just find it a little bit easier for me to make this connection by twisting this capacitor on the resistor onto the capacitor lead. Plus, I can shove it under there a little bit, and I get a little more. I get a little more room. These are my 2K. So now that we're soldered in with the 330, we'll grab a 2K out of here. And we'll get that bad boy soldered in there. So like I did with the 330, I wrap it around. So that's what I'm going to do here. That's good. Right here. Get that off. Kind of cut these about the same length. Could do them a little shorter, but got plenty of room in there. That's basically what we need. Let me gather up some wire. We have this here. 2 different lengths because one goes to the front truck, one goes to the rear truck. Well, it is what it is. Doesn't matter what side you solder, which side you solder these on, because the rectifier rectifies it. That's what it does. All right, so we're just gonna tin this up. Hypothetically, you could solder these to either side and it's not going to cause a problem. I just, in my head, this side is the negative side, this side is the positive side, and the other side of the rectifier. So that's basically what I do. I just wire them in line to each other. It just makes it a little bit easier. I think it looks a little bit neater. There's that. All right, guys, just give me half a second, and I'm just gonna readjust everything. All right, so we got this soldered up, and we need to put this. Need to get a length for the car. I forgot how long this was. This was the perfect length. What do we figure this was? Just shy of 9 inches, or 8 inches actually. Just shy of 8 inches. All right, so now, say you want to put a like a drum head on the end of your passenger car. You have to wire that drum head in from the negative side over here to your drum head and then back to this resistor. You can't wire it in any other way. I haven't been able to get it to work any other way. It somehow like bypasses the whole circuit board when you do it the other way. Negative side, positive side. Even though this strip has resistors in it already, there's already resistors in there, it does not cut the brightness down. They are wicked bright with no resistors in these things. And if you want to run them like that, you can. It's just, to me, they were just too bright. I actually considered putting another 1,000 ohms resistance in here to get it to calm down. So, and what you can do to test your stuff is, turn it on. You see it comes on, it's coming on. That's not getting hot. Just let it sit and run for a while. You're feeling a little nervous, put something around it. But that's looking pretty good. Then give it a test, shut it off. There it goes, dying down. But I could probably even go with a smaller capacitor for doing what I need to do here with these. I bought the 2 different ones. I could probably even go bigger if I want more. So let me pull this out. This is the caboose that I worked on. One of the cabooses I worked on. This one has marker lights on them. So shut that off. See, the marker lights are lighting up. This one's a little dim. The LED, these used to be incandescent and they popped for some reason, and I hollowed them out. I put LEDs in it, and that LED moved as it was setting up the epoxy, so it's in there and it's not coming out. But this is basically a test. It lights up inside. Disconnect the wire. It lasts pretty long, but that's basically what it looks like inside. And like I said, those marker lights are wired in at the negative end to that strip, and then to the negative side of this capacitor. So the voltage is running through the LED strip, then down through these lights, then through a resistor, and then back to this capacitor. I don't understand why. If I did it on the other side, the other way, where it goes positive into these the LEDs don't light up, even with no resistors. I don't know why it does it, and I really don't care that much to figure out why it does it. If you know why it does it, put it in the comments, my friend. I wouldn't mind learning, but I'm just not going to go down that rabbit hole because I got to do what I got to do. But we'll move on from there. I did another one that I'm going to open back up, and I want to put a red light in the back. We're going to do that later, probably. So that's basically it for this video. Thank you for watching. Like and subscribe. I hope this answered some questions or helped some of you guys out. I got all this stuff off of AliExpress. You could go with a bigger rectifier, look at the size of them, and then actually draw out the size, because the ones I got of these are microscopic. They are, this is my test board. Look at the size of those things. They are tiny. You can do it if you want to do it, but man, they were not easy to do. So I did that. All right. And having the capacitor over here and over here on this end, even with the resistor in it, they don't last as long as it feeding through there. So that's the way it's supposed to be. I just tried it different ways. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. Hit that like and subscribe button. And as always, I do appreciate you guys watching me. I hope this helped you guys out, or at least entertained you guys for a little bit. And as always, I'll catch you later.